This episode is brought to you by Goodwill Choice. The Goodwill Choice app is a fun, interactive way to fundraise for your favourite causes. You can crowdfund, support existing campaigns, or make monetary contributions using money gifted to you. So download the app and get rewarded for making a difference. Goodwill Choice. Choose, earn, donate. Welcome back to It's All Her, the podcast. I'm your host, Jordy Lucas. I'm the founder and editor of It's All Her. I was an actress in a previous life and I'm a mum to a toddler. I've got a lot going on and I have a passion for helping women live simpler, better lives. For the latest in lifestyle and entertainment news, head to itsallher.com. Hello and welcome back after a little hiatus. We're back. I am married. We had the most amazing little break down in Phillip Island for a week, and then last weekend we tied the knot. It was the most perfect day. I've popped some photos up on my Instagram if you want to go have a little sneaky peek, but we're very much back to reality now, back at work, and I was really excited to get in front of the mic and chat with you all. I hope that you have been taking care of yourself wherever you are. With the floods in New South Wales and Queensland and everything going on in Ukraine, the world has felt like a very heavy place, so please look after your mind and take a break from socials if you need to. I definitely enjoyed switching off last week and felt the benefits of that. So let's get to this week's guest. Rebecca Little is a Victorian-based mum to three, a content creator and a business owner. She's also a spokesperson for Share the Dignity, who make a huge difference to period poverty in this country. It's All Her is aiming to raise $500 this month for Share the Dignity through this week's sponsor, the Goodwill Choice app. So if you can, please download the app and donate to them. They do such incredible work for the women of Australia. So let's get to my chat with Rebecca Little on her life, work, and the very personal reason she supports Share the Dignity. Rebecca Little, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. You are an influencer and content creator from Warragul in Victoria. Can you tell us a bit about the start of your career as a content creator?
Well, I think I kind of just fell into it. I think most influencers and content creators will tell you that. I had children and I was taking photos of them, and brands liked what they were wearing. They would send us product. We would take more photos. And then it just kind of evolved. We went traveling. More people jumped on board because they wanted to see us traveling throughout the world. And we did a long stint in America, where we traveled in an RV with Charlotte, and she was just under 2. So I don't know if I could do it again because it was hectic. But we documented it, and people were so intrigued by that at the time. And that was like, what, 5.5 years ago now. And not a lot of that was being done from, I guess, the perspective of an Australian going overseas, traveling with their child, going rogue by taking an RV out and traveling all over America. So we did that, and it was fun, and yeah, people loved it.
And then, of course, I'm sure when you fell pregnant with twins, people were extra intrigued.
It was, yeah. And I think like the average person is intrigued. Like I found that just by going down the street with the girls. I'll be walking the pram, and I learned really early to put like my headphones in and sunglasses on and just keep walking, because there would be a million questions like, are they twins? How old are they? What are their names? Are they boy or girls? Like they were really silly questions, but I get people like are interested in twins. It was just that I think I was just going through that whole newborn phase of, I guess, learning the ropes again. With twins, it's like I thought I'd mastered it.
Yeah.
Being, a mum of a singleton, and then it was like, bam, here's twins. You haven't mastered it. So just all the types of questions that I was getting all the time. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. So or I didn't even know, like, I didn't know about the twin life. It's a whole different world.
I can't even imagine. And I'm sure people would make jokes like, oh, I bet you've got your hands full and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, yeah.
I still get it. I feel like a circus almost sometimes, because we do like to dress up and we'll walk down the street and people are watching. They're like, oh, you all look busy there. And I'm like, yep. and I know people are just polite and starting a conversation, but after a while it does get exhausting, because it's just, you're like, am I a circus attraction, or is this normal? It's one of those things. But we have navigated it, and I've said to my husband only recently, twins are 3 now, and I feel like we've finally come up for air. It has been full on. So I guess back to the whole content creation and influencing, it was like you didn't really get a break, because people were intrigued about their lives and twin life and sending product, because I guess it's a very influential time, like having a child and showing all the products you're using and what works, what doesn't. So that just took it to a whole nother level for sure.
And you share a lot of your sort of personal life and some of the struggles you've been through. Have you always done that, or was there a point where you thought, I actually do want to open up and share more of myself?
I feel like I've always been a pretty open book. I've always been the girlfriend that someone comes to who needs advice, because I probably had some aspect in my life related to it at some point in time. But I think like it's definitely allowed me to have more of a voice about things that matter to me. I think the whole mental health issue, I was always really scared to talk about it, because not only did I think, oh, maybe I'm alone in this, but am I just another one adding to the noise? And I didn't want to keep adding to that noise of mental health. And I knew I had the issue there, but I just didn't want to be, I guess, seeking out that attention. Like I didn't want to be known as an attention seeker. But I think I've just gotten to a point where, I'm 34 years old now. I know what's right and what's wrong within my own headspace. And it's okay to talk about it.
Yeah. And I had that as well, like when I started talking about postpartum anxiety. But then I thought, if I could, like, it sounds so cliche, but if you could just, even if some people look at it and roll their eyes, but if someone looks at it and thinks, actually, maybe I should go and get help, then to me, that makes it worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of messages that I got saying, you know what, I've made my appointment to go through the GP.
Yeah.
And I think like after Charlotte, I was relatively fine. After the twins, like, it's quite common for women to fall into that postnatal depression, because you're gone through the whole double hormone thing, and then you're releasing those double hormones.
Like the double crash down, yeah.
And it was like 2 days after the twins were born, I'd organised photos to be done in the hospital, and I was like, okay, we're going to do these photos. I want these memories. And Flossie ended up in special care, and I was like, this is not ideal. Like I've got cords attached to her, and the photographer's like, you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And one of the midwives just looked up and said, I can't believe she's doing photos right now. And I just lost it. And I was like, I'm such a bad mum. Why am I doing this? And it just put me into like, I guess, accelerated baby blues. So I stayed in my room in the corner. I didn't want to make eye contact with another midwife after that. And I just, I felt so like that I didn't know what I was doing again. Yeah.
That's awful.
No, but I think we all have a moment where we're either triggered into believing we're not doing the right thing at that time. So, and that's the crazy world of our brain and how it works.
Yeah. And you could have got a million compliments that day, but that one negative comment was like,
I know I did. And it was just the one comment that just set me off. Yeah.
That's awful. So why did you decide to open up about your experience with domestic violence with your audience?
Well, so I got involved with Share the Dignity. And I think with it, I needed people to understand where I was coming from. Share the Dignity is a huge passion for me, and I want to give back as much as I can. So opening up about my story and what I guess I went through as a child was something I think that people needed to hear. I often got termed and phrased, oh, you have the perfect life, like everything's going well for you, you've got perfect kids, perfect husband. And I'm like, yeah, but there is a backstory. There's always a backstory. Everyone has a backstory. And that's why I love hearing everybody's stories. And yeah, I didn't have the most ideal childhood. I was 3 years old. On, I think it was Sunday night, my grandma had come over to knocked on my mum's door, and she had her arm in a sling. And that was by the doing of my grandpa. And my mum just had like the biggest wake up call, and she's like, I can't keep doing this. And if I keep doing this, I'll end up like her.
Yeah.
And
so your mum was currently being...
So mum was, I guess, yeah, she was just in a really bad relationship with my dad. And it just escalated. It wasn't something that's... I often talk to her about this. I say, how did it start? Like, because it was fine in the beginning, and it grows and grows and grows. And then you feel as though there's no way out. And I guess, yeah, I've got that understanding now that like, it's not just as simple as leaving. And yeah, well, on that Monday morning, the next day, she packed up the car when my dad was at work and left. And I guess that's brings me to the next thing with Share the Dignity, of why I'm so passionate about it. They're, straight in there helping women who are fleeing those situations. And it might not just be domestic violence, it might be homelessness, or they're just having a really tough time. And, they're straight in there helping those women. And yeah, I guess it's so close to me because it's been my reality.
Yeah. Were you aware as a 3-year-old?
Yeah, well, we found a video, and it wasn't until I think I was in my 20s that I might have seen this video. And I was in the backyard, and we were like all playing outside, and mum's like, quick, dad's going to be home soon. And I guess back then you didn't have mobile phones, or you didn't know when people were going to be home. And I was on the camera and I was singing Batman song. I was like, no, Batman. And it just kind of went from so happy and joyous and being like an average 3-year-old to like clean up the backyard, like make sure there's no fun, nothing to trigger him. And that's what it was kind of like for my mum for all those years. She was just being triggered. Oh, well, she didn't want to set anything in place that would trigger him, I should say. So, yeah.
And so what was your life like when you did leave?
So mum, we were away from my dad for a very long time. It would have been about 5 or so years that we didn't have contact with him. And it wasn't out of mum's choice. That was his. He didn't make any effort. So the only reason we ended up getting back in contact was because we were asking about him. And that was just one of those things. Mum would never stop us from speaking to our father, regardless of who he was. So I respect her for that as well, which would have been a big call to make. Now that I'm a mum, I would be like, oh, I just can't let my babies go into that environment. But she provided a really safe, happy environment for us. And I guess no matter how happy and safe it is, you still are dealing with that trauma. And it's still something that I'm going to deal with as I get old, like as I'm older now and continue to get older. I'll still be trying to heal from that trauma.
Yeah. How did it affect your relationships with men, having boyfriends or getting together with Dion, your husband? Did it affect?
Exactly. Well, it definitely did. I was always very weary of men, and I still am to this day. And it's been something that I've had to work on because I know not all men are like my father. My mum ended up in another relationship, and my stepdad was the absolute bomb. He was such an incredible guiding figure for me, and so like black and white, and there was no bullshit. It was just how it is. And I think I needed that kind of person in my life. I'm very thankful for him. But as I went on and moved into, I guess, the adult life and reality, I got into relationships with guys, and my first boyfriend was like, I guess, the perfect boyfriend written down on paper. And then the second boyfriend, it was actually a mirror image of what my father's behavior was like. It's just, it took me a long time to leave that relationship. But as soon as I did, I knew that there was better out there, and I just didn't want to end up in the same situation that my mum did. And same thing, it started off fine and it just kept gradually getting worse. And now I have met the man of my dreams. And I think that's the thing. Like, I know that, I wasn't prepared to settle for anything less than what I deserved. And Dion is the most incredible husband and father. And I couldn't fault him on any level.
That's amazing. It is interesting, though, that you say that it does take time to leave a relationship and it's not easy. This is something that I've seen so much about on social media at the moment with Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. And if a woman like Kim Kardashian, with all the money and all the power in the world, can't safely leave a relationship, what hope is there?
It's wild. Like, I think it's not just leaving, it's dealing with everybody else's opinions and judgment as well, and maybe feeling the shame and embarrassment from people that you might know. I know friends that are leaving marriages after 10, 15 years, and they're my age. Like, it's happening out there. It is so common. Like, I would love to say that it's a rare thing, but it's not. What goes on behind closed doors, no one truly knows. And in saying, like, about public figures, I was watching a show this morning. I don't know if you've seen it. It only got released maybe yesterday, Raising Phoenix on Binge, and it's about Evan, don't know her name, Rachel. She was with
Rachel Evan. Yes.
Oh my God. Wow. Mind blown. So if you get a chance to see that, like, and you're not triggered, obviously, any of those issues and topics, it's a really good one to get your head into. And I think that's the thing, like, we're talking about it more, it's more out there, it's more in your face. And I think the more in your face it does get, the more likely it's going to, a young girl can walk away from a relationship and know she's not the bad person. She's not doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Tell me more about Little Miss Period.
Ooh, so Little Miss Period is my brand new baby. She is, not brand new now. She's about 9 months old. It's just been ridiculous. The orders have gone through the roof, and it's all about embracing the young woman. so I initially started out with a box, and the box was designed to be fun, interactive, not only with just the young girl going through a period, but also the parents as well. So it can either be mum, dad, even grandparents.
Yeah.
To sit down and have a conversation. It was designed to be a fun conversation starter. So it has things like a weed bag, pads, tampons, girl size, period underwear, a book that has the pictures in it.
Yeah.
These are the things that we didn't get to see when we were going through that when we were younger. I know that my mum, she, like, I've told this story a million times, she literally put a box of tampons on the end of my bed, and I was like, what the hell am I doing with these?
Where do I even put this?
And my mum's really open as well, so it was just such a bizarre thing for her to, like, and we talk about it now, and she's like, yeah, I kind of just didn't know how to approach the subject. Like, I didn't want you to be embarrassed. I didn't want to be embarrassed. Like, so yeah, I guess the box is just a conversation starter. It can, can be left to their own device, or they can discuss together, which I guess is just something that I would have liked. And yeah, apparently lots of people like it too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And have you branched out, and do you sell things for adult women now?
Yeah, it branched out. I had a lot of mums coming to me saying, can we have period underwear? Can we have this? Can we have that? And so I went down the period underwear route. Also menstrual cups. And that's been a huge thing. I didn't realize that young women are all about the cup. Like, I thought it was just, okay, they've stopped using pads and tampons now. They're more into period underwear, but it's all about the cup. I had a conversation with my 16-year-old niece, and she's like, yep, all for the cup, wouldn't use anything else. And I was like, I am so behind.
Yes.
So, it's really good to have someone who's in that age bracket who's guiding me. And I am all ears. Like, I'm listening to all those conversations, because it's a whole different world to when I guess we grew up.
And just that, like, eco lens that they have, they look at everything through that, what's best for the environment as well, which is just something that we just did not think about.
I guess we weren't taught it at school. Like, it wasn't a huge topic.
Yeah.
So, I am very proud of her when she was like, yeah, I'm already using one.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So we're all about making life simpler and better for women. How do you do that for yourself?
Oh my God, I think I have to break that down into 3 different categories, because my life is there's a personal level, and then there's the business level, and then there's kid level, because so I don't know, I try and make things simpler by God, this is not going to be a simple question to answer. I don't know. I'll answer it in one statement. I'll say that I've learned to ask for help.
Yeah, that's a huge one, isn't it?
Yeah, massive, because I never asked for help. I just didn't do it. I think that, I've spoken to my psychologist about this, and she said the reason that you don't ask for help is because you were in that constant survival and fight mode. So you were just getting through each day, and it kind of resurfaced when I had the twins, and I was becoming, I've been open about this mental health issue topic about my OCD. And that was a huge factor that I didn't ask for help. If I had asked for help, the walls wouldn't be closing in on me. And now I ask for the help, and it's so much easier. So I put into things like daycare, which I was always thought that it was a bad thing, that I would feel guilty for putting my kids into daycare. I don't know. There's just so many different levels to make your life simpler. But I guess, yeah, asking for help is the number one.
And people want to help as well, especially like your mum would definitely want to help.
Yeah. I think I rule out that opportunity. Like I cut it off before anyone offers to ask for help, because then I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're asking me because like it looks like I'm failing, and
Yeah, right.
I'm learning to deal with it.
It's a process, isn't it?
It is. Life is a process. Oh,
Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us this week. And I'm going to link everything, all your socials, Little Miss Period, and of course share the dignity so that listeners can donate to them. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. You.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of It's All Her. If you have loved this episode, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. Share it with a friend, and I'll be back in your ears next week.